what are the kind of best practices when it comes to the more mid-market or enterprise projects? What are really some of the good examples of best practice that you have seen working? And it's
Mhm.
definitely the kind of thing to do so.
Yeah. Well, one thing I can say is that less automation definitely works. The last thing you want to do is spam a bunch of people. So when we're talking about mid market and enterprise, these are typically 1,000 plus, 5,000 plus, 10,000 plus organizations, and chances are that some of these people are sitting side by side or next to each other. So if you send automated messages to everyone and these messages are the same, number one, your deliverability is going to be lower because the mailbox or the mail servers are identifying that you're sending a lot of messages to the same accounts, and all of these messages are the same. So it could be spam or a phishing attempt. So you're going to get shut down. But also, like, imagine two colleagues sitting next to each other, and like, were you also contacted by this guy or gal with the same message? Yeah, I was. And then you're not going to get a response. So instead, I really like, again, when you mentioned trigger based or insights based outbound approach. If you can, in general, show to people that they're better off with you than without you when trying to solve a complex topic, that's definitely the way to go. This educational route is definitely the way to go when we're talking about outbounding into mid market and enterprise. But you also have to realize that it's going to take a lot of effort. So typically for these accounts, you have business development reps and account executives working side by side. Sometimes even sales engineers, all doing the role of account research and crafting messages that are very specific to that account. Imagine if you're reaching out to, let's say, a banking client. Something changes in the industry that could qualify as a trigger event, and your solution solves a problem for them. You would reach out to multiple people, and there could be up to 100 people easily who you could target. What worked for us in my past company is account executives would target the higher level or mid-level managers, let's say, while which are like highly targeted, maybe even ask for introductions from your own network to get into an account, while business development reps would focus on the floor level employees within the domain that you're targeting and do more of the volume that frees up time for account executives to have more qualification and discovery calls to learn more about the account. So it's definitely high touch, but also highly personalized way of doing outbound. And there's no right or wrong way to do this. But since we also talked about AI and what can be automated, what we didn't have like 2 years ago, for instance, AI, imagine like going into enterprise, having to find a trigger. How do you do that? You would download the company's 10K report and then skim it for the keywords that are relevant to your company. And if you found something that you can latch onto, you would embed that in your message, in your template. Imagine using ChatGPT or really any other AI tool to skim that 150 page 10K report for specifically the keywords and summarizing that report for how you can use that those insights in that 10K report to reach out at scale to personas within that specific account. That's a huge productivity increase. So that's something which I think the account list building just like isn't that labor intensive, but the research, huge burden, takes a bunch of time. And like if you have like a 6 to 12 month sales cycle, right, it's your chances of booking meetings and closing these deals is low if you're doing everything manually. Now with AI helping us out, it could be used effectively to do that research for us, automate that part, and leave the creative work manual. I think that's the way to go for mid-market and enterprise.